How did one harmless dance turn into a public takedown that hit me in the middle of a crowded lobby? Why did my husband stay calm for weeks, then let a legal result land in front of people who once laughed at him? I thought the video made him look weak, until it made me look reckless. My name is Ianthe Calder, but everyone calls me Annie, because my real name makes people pause and ask questions. I was 34 that winter, and I worked at a small clinic as a scheduling coordinator. I was good at my job. I could fix a messy day with one phone call. I could make angry patients calm with a sweet voice. I told myself that meant I understood people better than they understood me. My husband, Graham Calder, was 36. He worked in municipal IT. He liked rules and quiet plans. He liked to leave early and wake up early. He was not loud. He was not a fun man in the way my friends use that word. I used to say I loved that about him. Later, I used the same thing as a weapon. That night started like a small fight wrapped in a joke. We were in our townhouse, in the kitchen, and I was putting on lipstick I did not need. Graham asked why I was dressing like it was a big event. I said it was just a normal night out. He asked why we needed to go out at all. I said he always wanted to stay home like an old man. He said he was tired from work. I said I was tired too, and I still showed up for life. Sienna Hart, my best friend, had been texting me all day. She said we had to come to this club downtown because a guy named Rafe was hosting. She said it was going to be packed and filmed and good for the feed. She said I needed a night where I remembered who I was. I liked that line. I liked it because it made me sound trapped, like a bird in a cage. I did not say I had built the cage with my own choices. Graham saw the messages light up my phone. He asked who kept writing. I said it was just Sienna. He asked why everything had to be posted. I said he was acting like a parent. He told me he did not want to be on camera. I said no one cared about him like that. I said it in a light tone, like it was nothing. It landed hard anyway. On the drive downtown, I played music loud. Graham asked me to lower it. I said he was ruining my mood. He said he did not want another argument. I said there would not be one if he stopped making everything a problem. I watched his jaw tighten, and I felt a small spark of power. I hated that I liked it, but I also told myself I deserved it. The club was hot and bright. The bass shook the floor. Bodies moved close. The air smelled like perfume and spilled drinks. Sienna found us near the bar and hugged me hard. She told me I looked amazing. I said I knew. She looked at Graham and asked if he was ready to have fun. He said he was just here with me. She laughed and told me, in front of him, that he always looked like he was doing homework. I did not defend him. I smiled like it was harmless. I told myself it was normal for friends to tease. I told myself Graham should learn to take it. Deep down, I liked being the center while he stood to the side. It made me feel chosen by the room, even if it was shallow. Rafe Mendez came over like he owned the air around him. He was 31, with quick eyes and perfect timing. He greeted Sienna like she was a celebrity. Then he looked at me like I was something he had already decided to want. He told me he recognized me from Sienna's posts. He said I had main character energy. I laughed and I felt my face warm. Graham stood close, but not close enough. He did not reach for me. He did not squeeze my hand. I told myself he never initiated anything. I told myself I had to pull life toward me, because he would not. I did not admit that I pushed him away when he tried, or that I punished him when he wanted closeness at the wrong time. Rafe asked me if I wanted to dance. Graham asked if we could just stay together. I said Graham was being weird. I said it was only a dance. Graham said he did not like how Rafe was looking at me. I said Graham was imagining it. I asked Graham why he always made me feel guilty for being noticed. He said he was not trying to control me. He said he was asking for respect. I said respect was not the same as fear. Sienna pulled me toward the dance floor before Graham could answer. The lights flashed fast. People raised phones like lighters. I told myself it meant the night mattered. I told myself it was art, not surveillance. Rafe met me near the center. He moved close right away. His hand settled at my waist, then a little lower. I felt it, and I did not stop it. I told myself it was normal in a club. I told myself my marriage was strong enough to handle a song. I told myself Graham should be proud that other people wanted me. Graham stood at the edge of the floor. He watched me, and his face looked blank. I told myself he was sulking. I did not let myself think he might be hurting. When he leaned in and asked me to step back, I turned my head and said I could not hear him. I could hear him. I just did not want to. Rafe danced closer. I matched him. I smiled at the camera I noticed to my left. I could see the screen glow. I could see my own face in it for a second, bright and pleased. In that moment, the idea of being recorded felt like proof. Proof that I was still interesting. Proof that I was not invisible. Proof that I was not stuck in a quiet life where I only answered phones and packed lunches. When the song ended, Graham asked if we could go home. I said the night had barely started. He said he felt out of place. I said he always felt out of place because he refused to relax. He asked why I was angry with him. I said I was not angry. I was just tired of his mood. He said he wanted to talk later. I said there was nothing to talk about. I went back to the bar with Sienna and laughed too loud. Sienna said Graham was acting like a victim. I said he always did that. I said he wanted to be the good guy, so I looked like the bad guy. I did not hear how twisted that sounded, or I heard it and liked it because it protected me. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible stories. Graham stepped outside to breathe. I saw him through the crowd moving away. For a second, I felt a pinch of fear. Then I told myself he was doing it to punish me. I told myself I would not chase him like a guilty person. Later, when we finally left, the air outside was cold. Graham walked ahead. In the rideshare, he stared out the window. He asked if I understood how it looked. I said it only looked bad to people who wanted it to look bad. He asked if I would feel okay if he danced like that with someone. I said he would never get the chance because he never tried. The driver turned up the radio. The city light slid across the glass. My phone buzzed again and again. I did not open it right away, but I could see the top line of the messages. Sienna had written fast. She said the clip was perfect. She said people were already reacting. She asked if she should post it now or wait until morning. I looked at Graham's face in the dark window reflection. He looked smaller than the night. I told myself that was his choice. I told myself I was not responsible for his feelings. I told myself I deserved to be happy, and if he could not keep up, that was on him. Then I unlocked my phone, and my thumb hovered over the reply. I wrote back to Sienna that she could post it. I added a laughing emoji like that made it safe. I told myself it was my body, my life, and my choice. I told myself a husband did not get a vote on my happiness. When I looked at Graham, I did not say any of that out loud. I just said I was tired and wanted to sleep. At home, Graham went upstairs first. He did not wait for me the way he normally did. In the bathroom, I washed my face and watched the makeup run into the sink. I told myself it was proof of a good night. I told myself I deserved nights like that. I heard a drawer close in the bedroom, quiet but sharp. It sounded like a line being drawn. In the morning, I woke up to my phone vibrating on the nightstand. The clip was everywhere in my notifications. People had tagged me, and strangers had commented like they knew me. Some of the comments were jokes. Some were compliments. Some were mean in a way that felt like entertainment, not concern. Sienna had written that it was blowing up. She said I looked free. She said the guy looked obsessed with me. She said it was a win. I replied that it was nothing, and I told her to stop acting like it was a big deal. I liked the attention, but I did not want to admit I liked it. Graham was already in the kitchen when I came down. He had 2 mugs out. Then he put one back in the cabinet. He made coffee for himself only. It was a small thing, but it made my chest tighten. I told myself he was being petty. I told myself he wanted me to feel bad. He asked if I had seen what was posted. I said yes, and I said it was not a problem. He asked why I told Sienna to post it. I said I did not tell her, I just did not stop her. He said that was the same thing. I said he was twisting words to make me look guilty. He asked why I smiled at the camera. I said I smiled because I was having fun, and I would not apologize for smiling. He said the guy's hands were too low. I said the angle made it look worse. He said I did not step away. I said I could not move in a crowd. He asked if I thought it was respectful. I said respect was not control, and he kept confusing them. His face changed at that. He looked like he wanted to answer, then he chose not to. That silence made me feel like I was losing, so I spoke more. I said he never wanted to go out, and when I finally did, he tried to ruin it. I said he made me feel unwanted at home, so I needed to feel wanted somewhere. I said if he touched me more, I would not need strangers to remind me I was attractive. I said it like it was logic, not cruelty. He stared at the counter and asked if I heard myself. I said yes, and I said I was being honest for once. I went to work early on purpose. I wanted the clinic to see me first, not my husband's face. I told myself that if I acted normal, the story would become normal. The clinic front desk was bright and cold, and the phones were already ringing. I sat down and logged in. Before I opened my schedule, I opened the comments. 2 coworkers, Jenna and Mark, stood near the printer and whispered. When they saw me, their faces did not change. They smiled too fast. Jenna said she loved my dress. Mark asked if I had a fun night. I said it was just dancing. Jenna said the clip was wild, and she said she did not know Graham let me do that. I laughed and said Graham did not let me do anything. I made it sound proud, like independence, not disrespect. At lunch, Sienna came by the clinic with iced coffees. She was glowing like she had won something. She told me the views were climbing. She said people were on my side. She showed me screenshots of comments calling Graham boring and controlling. She said it proved what we always said about him. I nodded like I agreed. I did not tell her the comments made me feel sick too, because they made the marriage look like a joke. My phone lit up with a message from my mom. Elaine wrote that she saw the clip and that I looked beautiful. She wrote that men needed to stop acting fragile. She wrote that if Graham tried to shame me, I should remind him who I was. I replied that I knew, and I said she was right. I liked having backup. I liked it because it meant I did not have to reflect. When I got home, Graham was not in the living room. The house felt too quiet, like the air was holding its breath. I called his name. He answered from the upstairs landing that he was working. His tone was flat. I asked if he was still mad. He said he was not mad, just clear. That word hit me harder than anger. I went into the kitchen and started talking anyway. I said the internet was stupid and would move on. I said the clip did not mean anything. I said people were jealous because I looked good. I wanted him to say something wrong so I could punish him for it. He did not. He came down with his laptop and sat at the table. He did not open it toward me. He kept the screen angled away, which I noticed. I asked what he was doing. He said he was organizing things. I asked what things. He said household things. I rolled my eyes and said he was acting dramatic. On the wall calendar, I saw he had written Riverfront 9:15 a.m. in neat letters. He also had a small note that said, meeting personal on a different day. I asked what that was. He said it was a reminder. I asked for what. He said for himself. His answer made me feel shut out. I told myself he was hiding something. I did not consider that he might be protecting himself. That evening, he asked again if I understood how the clip looked to our child someday. I said he was using Mila as a weapon. He said he was thinking of Mila as a person. I said I was thinking of Mila too, and that was why I needed to be happy. I said unhappy mothers raised unhappy children. I made it sound wise, like a quote from a book, not an excuse. He asked if I had talked to the guy in the clip. I said no. That was not fully true. Rafe had messaged me a flame emoji and wrote that I owned the night. I had replied with a simple LOL. I told myself that did not count as talking. I told myself I was not cheating because I had not named it that. Graham said he wanted us to stop posting about our private life. I said I had not posted anything about him. He said the comments were about him now. I said he could ignore them like I did. He said I was not ignoring them because I was reading them all. I felt my face heat. I said he was spying on me. He said he did not need to spy when it was public. He stood up and rinsed his mug. He dried it and put it in the cabinet without looking at me. Then he took a clean mug and set it on the counter on the other side, like a quiet boarder. I wanted to laugh and call him childish. Instead, I felt afraid, but I pushed the fear down. I told myself he would come around. I told myself husbands always did when wives stayed confident. I told myself the real problem was his pride, not my choices. Then my phone buzzed again, and I saw a new message from Rafe waiting on the screen. Rafe's message said I owned the night and that people loved me. I did not answer right away, but I did not delete it either. I let it sit there like a small secret I could touch whenever I needed proof that I still mattered. When Graham came into the living room, I turned my screen face down and acted casual. He asked what I was smiling at. I said it was a work meme. He paused, like he did not believe me. Then he nodded once and walked away. 2 days later, we had dinner with family at a busy restaurant on the edge of downtown. It was one of those places with long tables and loud music that made every meal feel like a show. My mom, Elaine, had planned it. She said it was good for us to be around normal people and not sit in silence at home. Sienna came too, even though she was not family. She said she was support. I liked having her there because she was brave in a way I could borrow. Graham said he did not want to go. I said he had to. He asked why. I said it was disrespectful to skip. I used the word disrespectful like I owned it. He said he would come for Mila and leave early if it got weird. I said it would not get weird if he acted normal. He asked what normal meant. I said it meant smiling and not making me look guilty. We walked in together, but it did not feel together. Graham held Mila's hand. Mila skipped and tried to count the light bulbs in the ceiling. I walked ahead like I was leading a group. I told myself that was confidence. I did not admit it was control. At the table, Elaine hugged me and told me I looked tired. She asked if Graham was still sulking. Graham heard it. He said hello in a calm voice and pulled out a chair for Mila. Elaine did not thank him. She asked, loud enough for the people next to us to hear, if he was finally going to stop being dramatic. I smiled and shrugged as if I had no idea why she said that. Trish, Graham's mother, arrived a few minutes later with Dale, Graham's father. Trish's eyes went to me, then away. She asked how Mila was doing. Mila said she was fine and asked for fries. Trish smiled at Mila and said she could have fries. Trish did not smile at me. Sienna leaned across the table and asked if everyone had seen the clip. She asked it like she was asking about a cute pet video. My stomach jumped, but I forced a laugh. I said it was old news. Elaine said she saw it and it was nothing. She said women were allowed to have fun and men needed thicker skin. She looked at Graham when she said men. Graham looked down at the menu. He asked if we could talk about something else. Sienna said he was sensitive. Elaine said he was trying to control the room. I felt the pressure of eyes from nearby tables. I liked it and hated it at the same time. When people watch, you can steer them. When people watch, you can also slip. Graham asked me, quietly, if I had asked Sienna to bring it up. I said no, and I said he was paranoid. He said it felt planned. I said he always thought people were out to get him because he liked being the victim. That word again. I used it like a knife and told myself it was truth. The waiter came. Mila asked for chicken and fries. Graham asked for water. I asked for a cocktail and said I deserved it. Sienna asked for the same. Elaine asked for wine and said it was a celebration. Trish asked for tea. The contrast annoyed me. It made me feel like Trish was silently judging me. While we waited, Elaine started telling a story about me in college. She said I had always been the fun one, and that I had always turned heads. She said I could have married anyone. She looked at Graham like he should be grateful he got picked. I did not correct her. I let it hang in the air like a reward for me. Then Rowan, my brother, arrived late and slid into a seat near the end. He asked what he missed. Sienna said we were talking about my viral moment. Rowan laughed, but it was a quick laugh that died fast. He asked if I was okay. I said I was great. He asked if Graham was okay. I said Graham was making it a bigger thing than it was. Graham sat straight and kept his hands folded. He did not interrupt. He did not shout. That calm made me angry, because anger would have proven my point. I wanted him to explode so everyone would see what I claimed to see at home. When he stayed quiet, I filled the silence with my own version. I told the table that Graham had been cold for days. I said he slept like a stranger. I said he acted like I did something terrible when all I did was dance. I said it was unfair. I said I felt lonely in my marriage. Elaine nodded hard. Sienna nodded harder. Dale looked down at his plate like he wanted to disappear. Trish asked me, in a steady voice, if I thought it was respectful to let another man hold me like that. I said it was just music and a crowded floor. I said people saw what they wanted to see. Trish said she saw a wife enjoying attention, while her husband stood alone. I said that was her bias. I said older women always blame the wife. I watched Trish's face tighten, and a part of me felt pleased. Graham finally spoke. He said calmly that he was not trying to shame me. He said he wanted privacy and basic respect. Elaine cut in and asked why he needed privacy if he had done nothing wrong. Graham said he had done nothing wrong, and that was the point. Elaine laughed and said he sounded like a lawyer. Sienna said he sounded like a robot. I laughed too, even though it made my throat sting. Someone at the next table turned and looked at us. I could tell they were listening. The restaurant was loud, but our little storm still carried. I leaned into it. I said, Graham always tried to make me feel small when I felt big. I said he did not like me shining. I said he wanted me quiet, so he felt safe. I said those things like I was describing a villain in a story. Graham asked me if I really believed that. I said yes. He asked if I could stop talking about us in front of everyone. I said he brought it up by acting weird. He said he had asked to change the subject. I said he did not get to control what people talked about. Mila tugged my sleeve and asked if Daddy was mad at me. I smiled too wide and told her Daddy was just tired. Graham told Mila he loved her and that she did nothing wrong. Mila asked why Daddy did not sit next to Mommy in bed. Trish reached for Mila's hand. Elaine told Mila not to be dramatic. I felt heat rise in my face, and I blamed Graham for it. Then a phone appeared above the table for a second, held by someone 2 seats down from Rowan. It might have been a cousin's friend. It might have been Sienna's. I saw the camera lens aimed at me like a small eye. I felt a rush of panic, then a rush of pride. I lifted my glass and smiled like I did not care. Someone asked Graham, half joking, if he was okay, sharing. The table laughed. I did not stop it. I watched Graham's mouth press into a thin line. He did not yell. He did not slam his chair. He stood up slowly, put his napkin down in a neat fold, and said he was taking Mila home. I told him he was embarrassing me. He said, still calm, that he would not stay where he was mocked. Elaine said he was overreacting. Sienna said he was proving my point. Trish stood up too and said she was going with him. Dale followed without speaking. Rowan looked torn. Then he stayed seated, staring at his hands. Graham lifted Mila into his arms. Mila asked where they were going. Graham said they were going home to rest. Mila looked at me and asked if I was coming. I said I would come later. I said it like it was normal. Graham did not look at me again. He walked out through the restaurant with our child in his arms, while people watched like it was a scene in a show. I sat back down, and my smile held for 3 more seconds before it fell. I told myself he did it to punish me. I told myself he wanted attention. I told myself he was weak. But my hand shook under the table, and I kept thinking about the camera over the long table and how easy it was for one clip to become many. The next week felt like walking in a hallway where every door was half open. People smiled, but their eyes stayed sharp. At home, Graham did not shout. He did not slam doors. He did something worse for me. He acted like I was not the center of his world anymore. He moved into the guest bedroom. He did it in one quiet trip with a laundry basket. I asked why he was being so extreme. He said he needed space. I asked space for what? He said for peace. I told him he was trying to punish me. He said he was trying to protect his mind. I said he was making Mila scared. He said Mila was scared of tension, not of a bed change. I told myself he was playing a game. I told myself he wanted me to beg. So I did not beg. I went louder. At the clinic, people acted like the clip was a harmless show, but they kept bringing it up. Jenna asked if Graham was still mad. I said he was sensitive. Mark asked if the club guy was my new friend. I said it was a joke. I acted like I was above it, like I was the adult in the room. Inside, I kept checking my phone, counting the likes like they were votes. Sienna texted me ideas for a story time video. She said I could frame it as a lesson about controlling husbands. She said I could talk about boundaries and freedom. I told her that sounded smart. I did not say I also wanted to hit Graham where it hurt. I wanted the world to clap while he sat alone. The first place it really turned was the school pickup line. I parked behind a grey SUV and watched parents talk in small circles. The air was cold. The line moved slow. I felt like everyone knew me. I saw one mum, Kelsey, glance at me and then glance away too fast. Another parent smiled at me like she was being polite at a funeral. Mila ran out with her backpack bouncing. She climbed into the car and asked if we could get a snack. I said yes, of course. She asked where Daddy was. I said Daddy was working. She asked why Daddy slept in the other room. I told her Daddy was just tired. She asked if Daddy was tired of me. My hands tightened on the steering wheel. I said grown-ups sometimes needed space. Mila asked if space meant Daddy did not love me. I said Daddy loved me, and I said he loved her too. Mila said she heard Grandma Trish say I was being mean. I asked when she heard that. Mila said she heard it on the phone when Daddy talked to Grandma. I felt heat rise in my chest. I told myself Trish was poisoning my child. I told myself I had to stop that. At the red light, my phone buzzed. It was a message from Elaine. My mum wrote that she heard someone at church mention the video. She wrote that people were judging me. She wrote that I had to stay strong and not let Graham control the narrative. I stared at the word narrative and felt steady again. Yes, that was the real fight. Not marriage. Story. That evening, there was a parents' night event at the community centre. Mila had a small art display on the wall. I put on a nice coat and told myself I would look calm and normal. Graham arrived separately with Mila, like we were coworkers sharing a project. He nodded at me. He did not touch me. That lack of touch felt like an insult in public. I walked up and said we should go in together, so people would not talk. He said people would talk either way. I said he was choosing to embarrass me. He said he was choosing not to perform. I told him he was being cold. He said he was being careful. Inside, the hallway smelled like markers and floor cleaner. Parents stood in clusters near the bulletin boards. I saw one dad lift his phone like he was checking messages, but his camera lens pointed toward me for a second. I did not know if he filmed. I did not know if I imagined it. Either way, my throat went dry. A teacher, Ms. Doran, came over and asked how Mila was doing at home. She asked in a careful voice, like she was stepping around glass. I smiled and said Mila was fine. Graham said Mila had been asking a lot of questions. I cut in and said Mila was just curious. Ms. Doran nodded like she understood too much. Mila ran to her drawing and pointed at it. It was a house with 2 windows and 2 stick figures on different sides. She said one was Mommy and one was Daddy. She said they both loved her. I said of course. Graham said he was proud of her. Mila asked if we could all have ice cream after. Graham said yes. I said yes too, but I said it first, like I could still lead. A woman I barely knew, Kelsey again, came near and said she loved Mila's picture. Then she asked, too casually, if I had been out dancing recently. I laughed and said it was just a silly clip. Kelsey said it must be hard when the internet talks. I said the internet only talks when it has nothing else. Graham stood silent next to Mila's art and looked at the floor. On the drive home, I pushed. I asked Graham why he did not defend me at parents' night. He asked what he was supposed to defend. I said he should tell people it meant nothing. He asked why I needed him to clean up something I chose. I said he was blaming me. He said he was describing reality. At home, I saw signs that made me uneasy. A new folder sat on the desk in the small upstairs nook. The label said Utilities in neat black letters. I asked what it was. Graham said it was just household organization. I laughed and said he was acting like a dad in a movie. He did not laugh back. Later, when I went to get a charger from the drawer, I heard a soft click from the guest room side of the hall, like a drawer locking. I paused. I listened. I heard nothing else. That night, I woke up for water and heard a low hum downstairs. It was the shredder. The sound was steady and calm, like someone brushing teeth. I stood on the stairs and watched the light under the office door. I told myself he was shredding junk mail. I told myself it was nothing. Still, my stomach felt tight. In the morning, his phone alarm went off on the counter while he was in the shower. The screen lit up. It said, "Paper drop, 7:40 a.m." I stared at it like it was a clue. When he walked in and saw me looking, he did not panic. He just picked up the phone and turned it over. I asked what paper drop meant. He said it was a reminder. I asked for what? He said, again, for himself. I said he was hiding things now. He said he was allowed to have privacy. I said he was changing the rules. He said I changed the rules when I made our private life public. I wanted to turn it back on him. I asked if he was talking to someone about me. He asked why I assumed that. I said, because he was acting like a stranger. He said he felt like a stranger in his own home. After school that day, Mila sat in the back seat, quiet. Then she asked, very small, if I was going to be in another video. I told her no. I told her adults made mistakes and then fixed them. I said it like I was teaching, but I was also warning myself. When we got home, Graham was at the table with his laptop open, angled away. He looked up and asked how Mila's day was. Mila said fine. Then she asked why Daddy did not smile at Mommy anymore. Graham said he was smiling at Mila, and that mattered. I felt my face burn. I told myself I was still right. I told myself a dance was not a crime. But in the quiet spaces, school lines, community halls, our kitchen, I could feel the story shifting away from me, and I did not know how to grab it back without showing what I really was. I tried to act like the restaurant night was a small bump. I told myself Graham would cool down and come back to the normal version of us. I told myself he was doing a silent protest because he wanted attention, so I decided I would not give him the satisfaction. For a few days, I stayed busy on purpose. I picked up extra shifts. I took Mila to the park after school. I posted a photo of her shoes on the swing, like our life was calm. I did not post Graham, but I wrote a caption about strong moms. I told myself it was inspiring. I knew it was a message. Graham did not react. He did not ask about my posts. He did not tell me to stop. He just kept doing small, careful things. He packed Mila's lunch with the same neat hands. He drove her to school when it was his turn. He spoke to me like I was a coworker. He asked about Mila's homework. I answered. He asked what time my shift ended. I answered. He did not ask where I had been at night, and that made me feel like I was floating with no anchor. Sienna kept pushing. She wrote that I should go live and tell my side before he twists it. She wrote that men like Graham always ran to their families to make the wife look crazy. I told Sienna she was right, even though I was not sure. I wanted someone to tell me I was the good person in this story. I wanted it so badly that I did not notice how it was turning me into someone ugly. Rafe sent another message. He asked when I was coming out again. He said the club missed me. He said I had a fire that should not be locked up. I told myself he was just being friendly. I replied with a short line that said I was busy. He answered with a smile and said he could make me forget stress. I did not stop him. I did not correct him. I just held the phone and breathed like I was holding a secret candy in my mouth. On Friday, I stayed late at the clinic. I told myself I had real work, and I did. Still, I also liked that staying late gave me a clean excuse. When I got to the parking garage, it was almost dark. The lights were bright but cold. My footsteps echoed. Graham was there by my car. He was leaning near the concrete pillar, not blocking me, just waiting. He looked tired, but calm. That calm again. It made my skin itch. I asked why he was there. He said he needed to talk. I asked why he could not talk at home. He said home was not private anymore in our house. I laughed and asked if he was being dramatic. He said he was being careful. He asked if I had spoken to Rafe. I said no. He asked if I could say it while looking at him. I said he was acting like a cop. He said he was acting like a husband who had been embarrassed in public. I said he embarrassed himself by leaving. He said he left because I let people mock him, and I did nothing. I told him he was too sensitive. I told him a stronger man would have laughed. I told him he made everything about ego. He asked if I heard how I spoke. I said I was just telling the truth. He said truth without respect was still harm. I rolled my eyes and told him he was using therapy words to sound right. He asked me to stop posting about the situation. I said I had not posted about him. He said my captions and my friends' comments were about him. I said he should not care what strangers thought. He said the strangers were not the problem. The problem was that I let strangers into our marriage for applause. I stepped closer and lowered my voice. I said he was trying to scare me. He asked how he was scaring me. I said with his silence and his private meetings. He asked what meetings I meant. I said I saw the calendar and the reminders. He said he was allowed to put reminders on his own calendar. I said he was hiding something. He said he was organizing his life because I stopped protecting it. I tried a different angle. I said Mila needed her father at home. He said Mila needed peace more than she needed a show. I said I was her mother and I knew what she needed. He said Mila was asking questions that hurt her, and that was not normal. I said Mila was fine. He said Mila asked him why I danced with the video man. My throat tightened at that. I said he put that idea in her head. He said Mila heard it from the world because the video was public. I could feel the fight slipping away from me. The garage air felt thin. I wanted to push him harder, but I also felt a new fear under my anger. It was the fear of not knowing what he was doing when he was quiet. At home, I followed him to the guest bedroom doorway. I did not go in, but I stood there like I owned the hall. I asked if he was going to keep punishing me. He said he was not punishing me. He was setting boundaries. I said boundaries were a fancy word for control. He said control was what I tried to do when I demanded he smile for the public. I noticed a sticky note on the small desk inside the guest room. It said, "Bring forms." I asked what forms. He reached over and flipped it face down without a rush. He said it was for a boring errand. I asked what errand. He said it did not matter. I said everything mattered now because he was acting secret. He said he had been open with me for years and I used openness like a weapon. On his laptop, I caught a glimpse of rows and columns, like a spreadsheet. I could not see the title. I could see dates lined up like a timeline. I asked what that was. He said it was organization. I asked why he needed organization now. He said because he would not live in chaos. I walked into the upstairs nook when he went to shower. His browser tabs were open for a second before the screen went dark. I saw words like storage options, delivery tracking, and notary near me. My stomach dropped. I told myself it was for work. I told myself it was for taxes. But the clinic did not require notaries, and Graham did not do random errands without a reason. I heard a small click from the hallway and turned. Graham was there, watching me by the desk. He did not raise his voice. He did not accuse me. He asked what I was doing. I said I was looking for a pen. He said there were pens in the kitchen. I said he was acting paranoid. He said I was the one searching through his space. I tried to flip it again. I said a wife should not have to sneak in her own house. He said a husband should not have to lock his drawer in his own house. He said it in a flat tone, like a fact. I looked at the drawer and realized it was locked. The sight made me furious. I told myself he did it to insult me. I told myself he wanted me to feel like a stranger. Elaine called that night. She asked if Graham was still being cold. I said yes. She said men always tried to punish women when they felt small. She told me to stay strong and not apologize. I agreed, even though my voice sounded thin. After I hung up, I stared at my phone and saw Graham's contact in my list. Under it, I noticed a new contact saved as a single emoji I did not recognize. It had no name, just the symbol. I did not remember seeing it before. I walked into the guest room doorway again. Graham was sitting on the bed, shoes off, reading something on his phone. I asked who the emoji contact was. He looked up and asked why I was looking at his contacts. I said because I had a right to know. He asked if I wanted to play that game. I said I did not know what he meant. He said he knew more than I thought, and he was tired of games. I felt the room tilt a little. I wanted to demand answers. I wanted to threaten him with my own story. I said he would not ruin me. He stood up slowly and looked at me like he finally saw me clearly. He said he was done arguing in circles. He said he would handle it properly. The next Monday, Graham told me we needed to meet in the city before work. He said it was about order and closing the noise. I asked why we could not talk at home. He said home was not safe for calm talks anymore. I told him he was being dramatic. He said he was being proper. I brought Mila to school first. My hand shook on the steering wheel, but I acted fine. In the pickup lane, I told myself he was bluffing. I told myself he wanted me to beg. I also told myself I would not beg, because I was not the guilty one. When I got to the office tower lobby, I saw his mother Trish near the wall. She held Mila's backpack like she had just helped with drop-off. Sienna was there too, pretending it was random, with her phone in her hand like always. My mom Elaine arrived a minute later, loud and ready. She asked why we were meeting in a lobby like strangers. I said it was Graham's idea. Graham stood by the security desk. He looked clean and calm, like a man going to a meeting. He asked if I had posted again last night. I said I posted nothing about him. He said my friends tagged him and called him names. I said he should stop reading comments. He said he had stopped reading feelings and started tracking facts. A woman in a plain coat walked toward me with a folder. She asked if I was Ianthe Calder. I said yes. She asked me to confirm my address. I said it was none of her business. She said she was there to serve me. I laughed and looked at Graham like this was a joke. He did not smile. The woman handed me papers and pointed to a line. She said I had been formally notified of a civil case about my posts, captions, and the video. She also said there was a temporary order telling me to stop posting about Graham, stop sharing the clip, and remove what I already put up. She said I had to keep evidence and not delete messages. My mouth went dry. I told her this was just dancing. She said it was not about dancing anymore. She said it was about what I claimed online and what it caused. Elaine stepped forward and asked if this was real. The woman said it was real. Sienna went pale and looked at her phone. Trish did not move, but her eyes stayed on me like she was done hoping. Graham asked if I understood now. I said he was trying to ruin me. He said he was trying to stop me from ruining him. He said he would only discuss Mila and schedules from this point. I said he could not do this in public. He said I made our private life public first. I looked down again and saw my name printed in hard black ink. My hand started to shake so much the pages rattled. People in the lobby stared. Graham turned and walked away without looking back, and the security guard watched me like I was trouble.